I'm just recording this because this one really deserves a feedback. So as this channel, I'm just showing what my feedback is. Who knows if it's going to remain on there. So I like to do this for documentation purposes. You can save it. And then this is what I said prior to that. Now, it's funny. Again, you can pause it and read that for yourself. So it's funny that both of them are saying 0 seconds when I did both of them separately. So we're going to refresh. I'm going to X out of here. It's this guy's video. Rushland KD. I think he's struggling for views. So anybody that puts Candace's name in their title and on their thumbnail, they know it's clickable, right? But I gave him 27 minutes and 55 seconds out of my life, but been more than that because I had to construct those posts and post it. So I would say he's gotten about an hour of my life because I had to stop, shake my head, do my post, come back, listen to the rest of it. So it's been about an hour of my life that I can't get back, but I'm going to document it. So let's see if it's still there because they both are saying 0 seconds. This guy's, it's just, I tell you, these Christians. So let's see. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go back. Let's see if it's there. Still saying 0 seconds. Still saying 0 seconds. So we're going to, I'm trying to refresh. Okay, hold on. I think I know what there you go.
From all the stuff we've seen, and then slide into black or white, all or nothing thinking with regards to these conspiracies at the harm of not just Israel, which is, again, Israel derangement syndrome, I think is a real thing, but now at the harm of people.
Yeah, it's these Christians who are not able to separate Israel from Israel's government. And any criticism of Israel's government, their policies, the things that they're doing, is automatically against Israel. And that's been something that has been in the playbook for many, many years. It's interesting now to see more people being able to separate it and see how they demonize you for even daring to question the policies and decisions of the government. But anyhow, so let me get out of this, and because for some reason his name is okay, so we're gonna go back.
Ma fille, tu as absolument besoin de ces compensations.
No, be quiet. Okay, we're gonna
But
go
now
back.
at the harm of people directly.
Oh, quiet. We're gonna go back. So I've refreshed it. And let's see if it's there. Okay. Perfect. See, I told you. It's been about an hour of my life. Right? So the bottom comment shows 56 minutes ago. And it says 4 minutes ago. I told you it's been about an hour of my life that I have given this guy's channel. So, as I said, you could pause that and read that for yourself. And then this was the one that I did initially. These Christians. This is Lady O. Stay in action, faith, and possibility. Walk in and protect your light. Your purpose will find you. Say what you mean and live like you mean what you say. That's my feedback video. Read my comments and then you'll see what it, because I've given this guy an hour of my life and I'm good. It's just, I would recommend not watching watching the video, but feel free to watch the video so you can, make sense of why I said what I said, because his entire video, I'm just shocked that he's a Christian. Apparently, he talks about being a YouTuber. He tells you about his descent and all of it's so funny, when Christian living culture. It's funny when people that say don't identify as this and identify as this, but they identify as it's like, I thought we just Christian. I thought we just, there's no this, there's no that. We just, and it's because that it's just, we keep claiming to constructs that were created to separate humanity. Yet still, we all say we're in this religion that's supposed to unite us, but at the same time, you hold on to the constructs that was designed to separate humanity. But you're in a religion that you say it's supposed to shatter all of that, bring humanity into one, and it's through the belief of a person that the religion and the followers of the religion is saying it was God in a person. It was God that came to man, through man. All the different ways I've heard people try to describe it, right? Christianity and the accounts of Jesus and Mary, the Immaculate Conception and all of that. They seem people that this documentation of the events of the life of this person, Jesus, who they're saying was God walking with man as a man. And his death said, it's done, it's finished, bringing people together to get rid of all these principalities and hierarchies, spiritually and man-made. And his death was supposed to come and bring an end to all of that and bring everybody back in. And these same people are the ones who love to hold on to the constructs that man made and designed to divide humanity. And they always will go back to their default. I'm telling you, these Christianity, it is so fake because they identify as everything. And Christian is there, yeah. But hey, don't talk about Armenia. Don't talk about white. Don't talk about the brown folks. Or don't talk about the history of how each human constructed, man-made, designed calamity contributed to the hate of humanity by humanity, making one group of people hate another group of people. And then how dare you ask for an apology because it wasn't me, it was my great-great-grandfather, it had nothing to do with them. But at the same time, not caring about the generational hurt and hate that has been carried on because of what your great-great-great-grandfather did to my great-great-great-father, or that person's great-great-grandfather to that person. Like, it's like you guys can't get it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Pick a side. Your same scripture says you can't be lukewarm. Pick a side. You're either on one side that you're holding on to an identity that was created by man to divide man. So man hates man, man kills man, man enslaves man, man oppresses man, man is hierarchy over another man. Like, it's either you bury that and you are now resurrected in the truth that love conquers all and we are all one, and that would mean that you have to atone. And when I say atone, recognize that this is what happened. They say if you want to come and do a sacrifice, ask for forgiveness and all of that, but you don't want to go back to your brother that has been wronged. Well, I didn't wrong him. His great-great-grandmother wronged his great-great-grandfather. It ain't about me. But you're the benefactor of that hate. You're the benefactor of that oppression. You're the benefactor of that slavery. Well, I don't know about benefactor because I'm poor too. Yeah, but you're poor and the other person's poor. When you walk into certain places, you're still at a better advantage. It's so funny. RFK Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy Jr., whatever the Kennedy guy who is making America healthy again. I watched that eulogy. I don't know, there's many things that was said in that eulogy, memorial eulogy, however you want to put it, display for Charlie Kirk. I don't know how many of you catch everybody's speech, but everybody's speech was very telling. I listen to words and what a person says, how they say it, and I'm like, interesting. One of the speakers, every one of them, they told you the truth, but many of you ain't listening. And Kennedy said he's told Charlie the worst thing. What's wrong, buddy? What's wrong? Huh? That's Timothy Thomas. He's very vocal. He said something very interesting. He said to Charlie Kirk, death is not the worst thing. He says there's something worse than death. There's something more profound, more scary to be fearful than death. He said, death is not the worst thing. I'm paraphrasing. There's something that is worse than death. That is for you not to have your constitutional rights, for that to be stripped from you, for you not to have that, and your children be slaves. Your children be enslaved. And he said that boldly in a whole stadium. And I'm wondering, am I the only one that didn't see the hypocrisy of that and the truth of that? He just told you in 2025, the worst thing than death, because at least, I guess in his mind, if you die, you die. But there's something worse than death is to have your constitutional right taken away from you, which is human rights being codified, meaning put it in codes, right? Like paragraph 1, subsection 2, article this, like it's just coded, and coded means that you can refer back to the code. Like, what's the code? Oh, it's the amendment of 19 this, section this, subsection this, paragraph that. It's coded. But that thing in itself is not what gave you your human rights. They just coded it, just put it down on paper, what is already there. And he just said in 2025, the worst thing than death is to have your constitutional right taken away from you, meaning not to have your rights, and your children be enslaved, your children be slaves. And I'm thinking, Kennedy, is there a people where that was done for, I would say, 400-500 years, even more? Which group of people had no rights, had no human rights, was stripped of any quote-unquote constitutional rights? Even before the Constitution was a constitution, they were not even seen as human. The way that they were treated was worse than animals. And when they gave birth, their children were enslaved. Which group of people was that? And you just said that is worse than death. So you just admitted in 2025 of September that what those people went through was worse than death. He literally, and I'm thinking, and everybody's like, now we have to now defend America because we don't want to experience that. It was okay for other people for 500 years to experience that. But we don't want that for us and for our children. That's for other people to have experienced and went through it, and then we tell them get over it. But for over 500 years, a group of people lived that, which you just admitted was worse than death. And there's people living today that is happening, where they're being treated like they have no rights, and their children are birthed into a lifestyle of being enslaved. It's still happening right now in 2025. The man just told you there's something worse than death, and what he said actually happened to a group of people, a type of people. For over 500 years, they actually lived a life worse than death. Some of them was waking up hoping to have died. So many of them killed themselves. That's why many of them, they say, jumped off ships, because they didn't even want to have lived that. That's why we might make the joke and people might laugh about it, but this is why that same group of people, many of them don't like the water. They don't like to swim. They don't even know why. It happened 400-500 years ago, but it's something in their DNA that's so traumatized that they themselves don't like water. They don't know how to swim because they don't want to swim. They don't want nothing next to the water. Why is that? But we tell them, get over it. Get over it. Not recognizing there's some of them that cannot get over it. Because one, they're being re-traumatized once a month, every year, being retold and reliving that story of their ancestors. Then they're being treated by the children who have heard about those stories. Those children grow up to be adults, and they treat people that look like that less than animals, because you have been told they're automatically less than animals. Oh, you see those type of people? This is what you automatically treat them. Then when you find out that no, they're not, like, oh, then you're shocked. Oh my God. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, but you know what? Still don't trust them, because you know what? You just never know. At any time, their ancestry persona might just jump out at you. Which ancestry persona? You mean the persona that was created by the hands of man's evil, that made a group of people wish that they were dead, because every day they woke up, they had to live the reality of not being treated as a human, and they had to watch their children be enslaved. They had to watch atrocities of when they gave birth, the child is just taken away and sold. Some of them, they see the atrocities of stomachs being ripped open and their children being used for bait. And this is not made up story. This is real documented for real. Yeah. Because you are not see. And the thing about it, the people's children who didn't live that, they're being told about it. And when they're being told about it, they cringe. What about the people's children who are being told about it, whose people actually lived it? And now they're amongst people that when you see them, you still want to, because society tells you, because of the man-made stigmas that tell you to put them in that box. Kennedy just told you all, on a national level, the worst thing, there is something worse than death. I don't care. He's like, if I die, if I die, I die. But there's something worse than dying. It's to actually have your constitutional right be taken away from you and your children be enslaved. I'm sure after it came out of his mouth, it probably hit him what he just said. And it's like, yeah, there's a group of people that lived that for over 500 years. And their offsprings are still under the ripple effect, or the smell, the stench, the leftoverness of that. And yet they get up every day and they work their butts off to not be that, to rise above that, to prove that no, I have a human right, to prove that no, I can do it. Imagine every day, every generation, there's a generation of people who every day you have to wake up to prove to humanity that you are human. You have to prove to yourself, prove to the world, prove to the stigmas, prove to all of this stuff that no, I am not that. Whereas another group of people, they just wake up to just get out there and win. They don't have to prove all those other layers and then win. They just get up every day just to, hey, I'm going to just go do this today. Whereas there's a group of people that there's other wins, they have to win before they get to the level of just getting up just to win. Because they have to fight through mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of the dogmas and the truths of the past that has been layered on them, and all they did was just be born. And automatically when they're born, it's like, oh, by the way, carry all this weight on you of all these dramas. You don't have no historical drama. It's just, you just, and then as a group of people, that's what it is. And who is to blame? Because there's a religion that says, come and you be washed white as snow, your sins are in the sea of forgetfulness and all that stuff. But we're going to remind you. We're going to remind you, though, that I can't trust you too much because you're from those type of people. I can't really trust you because I've been told I can't trust your type. What do you mean, what type? Oh, yeah, your people are like this. Oh, really? Interesting. Well, let me tell you a history about your people. But you don't want to hear that. You don't like that. So if you don't like that, we don't like that. We don't like that you feel like you have to hold your breath and you're waiting for the shoe to fall with us, when technically, in the history of humanity, it's you who we need to hold our breath with. Because it's been historically documented that it's your people. It's your people. Historically, it's been your people. But our people are the ones who are always being told to forgive and let go. But you have the audacity to be holding your breath around us and being wary about us, when it should be the other way around, but we don't. And then you also have now in our own community, us being afraid of ourselves. And by right, we have to, because of what you wake up every day, get up out of your bed and see another brother and sister as your competition, somebody that you got to cut down, you got to size up, you got to eliminate, you got to attack, you got to take from. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being born in a group of people where your own people you're afraid of, the other folks you're also concerned of because of historically what they have done, and at any time they could just flip the script. So even though they're smiling with you and you really don't know if you could trust them, and then you're wondering if they are fake with you because of what they believe about you, but you also can't trust them because of what their people have done. But then they're looking at you like they can't trust you because they know at any moment you might just flip out because of what their people have done. I'm telling you. But then they sell you this story that there's this religion that once you come into it, we're all brothers and sisters. Is that really true? Are we truly all brothers and sisters when we accept this one religion, or is in that religion still a separation of people group? Is it still, yeah, you can join our religion, but when you come in, we still see you as those folks? I have not found a religion, I have not found one, where truly you are one, and they're truly colorblind. They're truly ethnicity blind. They're truly cultural blind. You're just that. When they see you, and it's just that. I don't know how that's possible, because when they see you, I don't know how they're going to see a religion. Oh, we're going to dress a certain way, and then that's the automatic signal. Okay, but I know a religion where you can tell their religion by the way they dress. Right away, you can tell a religion, and you could see them of all different color and hue, but they treat those of different skin color that's dressed just like them differently within the same religion. They don't see oneness. They still see certain skin colors as less than, beneath them. And they treat those people just like the days of old, where you are less than human. But you're wearing the same apparels that sends a signal, hey, I'm one of you, I'm just like you. Look, I'm just like you, so I'm just like you. And they still butcher you. They still enslave you. They still treat you like you are next to nothing. But you're dressed just like them. And then you have the other religion that you go into their, you're baptized with them and you say you're, the same denomination. But you could tell the colorisms within the congregation and the body. The pastor is racist, and the cliques, and you can tell like the past have colorism issues. The denomination themselves, North and South, they come for camp meetings, but you can tell like there's racism still within that denomination, but they're all baptized and they're saying they're one. All you all, listen, all you all. And don't get me into the other Eastern religions, because they will look the same. They're the same ethnicity, same culture, but there's different sects in the different tribes. And then there's the caste system. Within their own people, within their own religion, then there's the caste system. Where you are up here, you're beneath here, and I don't see you, you're beneath me, but you're going to the same temples and the same, like, every one of you all are hypocrites. This is why I'm saying it's funny that you have Christians who are going after Candace Owens, and you're all supposed to be in this one big tent. But because she has a conscience of what is being done to the children in a conflict, and we are hearing out of the mouth of the governmental officials that they don't care about the children, because the children are going to grow up to be just like those adults anyways, and they hate them because of the indoctrinating that the children are doing. So in a way, if you get rid of the child now, you're saving yourself later. Like, I've heard all out of the horse's mouth of these people on interviews, and that is what? What? I'm reading the Old Testament. They call it the Torah. Even the Muslims in the Quran, the Old Testament, or the Quran, or the Torah, they also recognize as well. Like, let me tell you, like, this is what I'm saying. All you all, to me, it's all man-made constructs where everybody wanted to find something and call it their own for their own people. And that's why you'll see so much commonalities in all of them. Even Hinduism, even I did an undergraduate religious education, so there were different courses on different religions, and you're like the commonalities, like, and you're like, hold on, how is it? And you're like, okay, where they all come from? And then you look at the timeline. This is what I'm saying, facts over feelings. You look at the timeline, right? The different empires. And who came up after, and when does that, and you just look at the timeline. And they all are going back to a particular time. And then you see when they all were created, when they all took root, the timeline. Who came before? Who came before? Who came before? People traveled, and as they traveled, they found and they say, let me take this back and repackage it for my people. And then I become the guru. I become the person because I'm the one that's bringing it, and then I'm the expert. And so when you go back to the story that every one of them have this origin story. They all have an origin story. The origin story, very similar. And what just makes me just sit back and just shake my head with humanity and all these denominations and religion, and the fact that there are people, the holders of the truth of each of these religions. I'm talking about the old school, the ones that are holding it and then passing it on. And they fully, some of them, I would say 80% of them are ignorant, that they don't know that they're just recycling content that they're going out and preaching, because the 20% knows that they're not telling the 80% the full truth. And then when some of the 80% crack through and they find the truth, they're quiet because they're afraid that it will unravel the fiber, unravel the foundation of their religion. So they ask themselves, is it worth telling the truth? Because if I tell the truth, then it's going to be shown that it's all been a lie, because half truth is a lie. Okay? So they have convinced themselves that keeping the story going is actually in the best interest of their people, of their culture, of their religion. Because what if I do tell the truth? That would mean so many people are going to fall away, so many people are going to turn away, and then I don't want to be that one. So there's people who are intentionally remaining quiet about the truth because they really believe that it is in the best interest to keep the half-truths going, because people are going to fall away, and then there's going to be mayhem, and then the question is, if this has been a lie, what else is a lie? And then it's going to be a big rabbit hole, and oh my God, the consequences are so great, let me just keep the lid on this covered. But you know the thing about truth, it doesn't matter how long you try to keep it covered, it will come out. Some of them know this, and they have reconciled with themselves that, well, I'm not going to be alive when it happened. I just don't want to be the one. Let it be somebody else. But as long as I'm alive, I don't want to be me. So there have been many who have delayed the truth from coming because, one, they don't want to be the one that's responsible for it, and two, they've actually convinced themselves that if it happens after they're dead, they're okay. They don't even care if it happens to their children or their grandchildren. They're like, you know what? They'll figure it out. They'll be okay. But they just don't want to be alive when it happens. They just don't want to live through it. So they're okay in their grandchildren or their great-grandchildren carrying that burden, because to them, at least, they're not alive to face it, and it's not on their watch. They can just live life and continue in the happy bliss of ignorance and lies, and enjoy their life now and let the other generation figure that out. There's many who have reconciled that and actually made that a conscious reasoning for why they're going to keep the lie going. they don't want to deal with it when they're alive. They've made it okay for it to be another generation's burden. Let them deal with it, but it's gonna be, they don't want to be alive when it happens. So they keep pushing it off to another generation, but there's gonna come a time. And what has been written is that when that time comes, that generation is going to hate all the other ones before. You know, the things that all of you work so hard to preserve, a legacy, a legacy, a legacy. That legacy, your generation, when it comes to pass, they're going to easily let that legacy fall and burn because they're going to realize it was all built on a lie. But you don't care because you're going to live your best life now and let them figure it out. But you know, the funny, sad part about it is that the thought that made you think to hold on to the lie because it's told you that if you let the truth go, all hell is going to break loose. Maybe it would not. Maybe if you guys tell the truth, your generations will actually respect you and you really do true healing and true repair. And your legacy can still be intact as a result of the mirror work and how you do it. Comparing to the guarantee abandonment of everything. You know, people and their legacy and your name and all that, your generation is going to want to have nothing to do with your name. They're going to rename themselves because they don't want to have nothing tied to you and that name, because it's going to come so clear to them that that name represented a gross lie. And they're not going to want to have nothing to do with your name. It's better for you, while you have the capacity to control that. When I mean control, meaning control how they internalize the truth of the reality. Comparing to you're not being around and they now are left, because you said you're going to leave it up to them. They're now left to find a solution of purging. And that would mean everything that you worked hard for is gone. But again, many of you would say, I don't care. I lived my good life. So who cares? Be careful with that thought. Because that would mean that you do not believe in the life after. And you might just wake up in the life after and realize that, oh, sugar snaps. It is true. There is a life after. And it is going to be based on the life now. Stay in action with faith and possibility. Walk in and protect your light. Your purpose will find you. Say what you mean and live like you mean what you say.